welcome to HistoricHole. My name is David, and as always, I'm joined by Jason, and our guest this week is Otto.
Wagwan.
Hello. This week we will be discussing the incident that occurred at Ruby Ridge in 1992. But precursor, it all started with a man named Randy Weaver and his wife, Vicky.
Randy and Vicky.
Vicky was quite the Christian. When she was pregnant in 1978 with their first child, Samuel, she was having visions, apparently, about the apocalypse and how her family would survive at the top of a mountain as the world burned around them.
Man,
Burned, not flooded, burned.
Burned.
Okay,
Those fucking hormones, bro.
that's how that works. All right.
God.
And Randy, being the good husband that he was, as soon as Samuel was born, Vicky had it in her, was like, we're going to go to the mountains because that's the only place to be safe in the ensuing apocalypse.
Naturally.
So once Samuel was born, they started selling off most of their stuff and started living off the grid, like started not using electricity.
Which everyone should do.
And, just sort of grassroots, taking it back, just living off the land
Yeah.
and whatnot.
If I don't need you, you have no power over me.
And especially with fucking Carter as president, God knows they wanted to get away from society.
So this was in the 70s.
Yeah, 78 we're in right now.
78.
Yeah, is when they started prepping.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So this is a long plan.
Right.
So it goes up to 92.
Yeah, well,
14 years.
yeah.
The making.
In 1983, they scrounged up. Well, Randy was a factory worker at a John Deere factory. He was making tractors. Good living. He was a former Green Beret.
Damn. Okay.
So he scrounged.
Collecting government checks.
Yeah, scrounged up enough money, bought himself 20 acres in northern Idaho, about 30 miles south of the Canadian border, in a place called Ruby Ridge.
So he's well-to-do.
Yeah.
So he made some good
Relatively.
made some good money building tractors after his tour of duty.
Yeah.
Murdering people.
Right?
Yes, he murdered people, came home and built tractors. Now this sounds like a patriot right here.
Good guy.
When they got to Ruby Ridge, there was a little land or, territory dispute with a man named Terry Kennison. Now, Terry thought that they were encroaching on his property. Obviously, Randy thought the other way.
So who was actually right though?
Randy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Randy, the righteous
Yeah.
Righteous Randy.
patriot.
It was a $3,000 settlement plus $2,100 that Terry had to pay them. So he had to pay them $5,100 because
He was a douchebag.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he wanted
because
to
of jibber
dispute.
jabber.
Yeah, exactly. He wanted to talk shit
Wow.
against the righteous patriot Randy.
So this is a civil?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just between two people. Randy won, got the $3,000, and then
Yeah,
the
he did.
$2,100 was for court costs. So Terry Kennison was not too pleased with the result of the case, so he started telling people that Randy Weaver liked to talk about how he wanted to murder the president and bring down the American government. And once he started saying that he was going to assassinate Ronald Reagan, some people got involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And another thing that Terry brought up was the fact that Randy Weaver was a part of the Aryan Nation, which was a...
All right. Maybe walk back these
I was about to
patriot
say,
comments.
I feel like this should have been brought up slightly earlier.
Of course, like I said, once the word is spoken that someone's trying to assassinate the president,
Oh, yeah.
the federal government is going to land hard on your ass. So
Yeah.
U.S. Marshals started investigating, FBI started investigating,
Secret Service.
Secret Service started investigating. He is getting talked to, interviewed nonstop for months.
Randy, can you just shut the fuck up for 10 seconds about killing the president?
He's like, I never said anything
Never
like
said
that.
shit.
I never said that.
But think about this, though. First world, and someone can perpetrate something that you have no interest in. Think about that. I mean, I get it. This is years ago, decades, I guess, ago. But imagine me, right, in my house, somehow being able to perpetrate you wanting to murder the president, and that's selling.
Yeah, exactly, right?
It sells to the point where, you're getting fucked with. I'm sitting at home laughing, and you're getting fucked with, even though you're like, wait, what? What?
So
Even though he just had to pay out $5,000.
was this shit true, or was it actually?
Oh no, it
Terry
wasn't. It
lying?
was Terry was lying.
Oh, so Terry made all this up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
bullshit. That's what I'm saying.
I thought like he was part of the Aryan Nation.
sir.
No. Okay, so funny fact. We'll get to it in a second. Randy denied everything. He's like, no, I never said I wanted to kill the president. He even wrote Ronald Reagan's like, there is a fucking conspiracy against me because I have all these government agents up my ass over fucking nothing.
So like this is all like, and this was none of it was ever confirmed.
Right.
You should be able to
Wow.
sue over this.
Yeah, like that's like basically like a defamation sort of thing.
But, you know, being a good Christian man, let bygones be gone.
No.
I got my money and,
No. This is the lesson.
okay.
Do not be a good Christian man.
I was literally about to say to all you Christians out there, free lesson right here.
now,
Stick up for yourself.
while not being a member of the Aryan Nation,
Oh, fuck. All right, here we go.
he did frequent several conventions.
Defeat stuff.
Okay, it's a convention, you know.
Yeah.
They probably had like free snacks.
He
and
just
drinks,
went with a
right?
friend. He just went with a friend.
Went with a friend. Go
You
check
know.
out the Aryan Nation.
Birds of a feather, yeah,
Go check it out.
And his friend's name was Frank Kumnick.
Come on, man.
Come on, Frank.
And
This is too good.
actually, Frank was under investigation by the ATF. ATF was actually looking at Frank Kumnick
Oh, I bet they were. I bet they were.
because of his association with the group, The Covenant, the Sword, and the Arm of the Lord.
Oh my god.
Great metal band name.
These are
White power.
honestly, it's a little wordy for a metal band.
White
That's kind of
power.
more of an album name, if I'm being real.
Yeah.
White power.
Oh, that's what they were. They were,
No black group would ever name themselves that.
Right.
but they were also on the survivalist train, like living out by yourselves, not doing anyone else harm until harm is done to you.
Yeah.
Dude, see, and that's respectable.
That's the libertarian mindset.
It's respectable when you start being like abrasive towards anyone who like disagrees with your bullshit.
Oh yeah, right. Like because I actually had this conversation on Twitter the other day. I was like, we're talking about extremism. It's like, what does that actually mean? Like, what does it mean to be an extremist? And in my mind, what it means is that you no longer engage in the realm of free debate. You're just concerned with power. So, however you can get that power, it means like bullying your opposition. You're not engaging in like a good faith debate of ideas, right? You're engaged.
You're right, and that's it.
Yeah, and moral sabotage is all you're about. It's like they're evil, and all we have to do is worry about is painting them as evil. We're not going to engage with their ideas. Their ideas are toxic or whatever. You can come up with all sorts of justifications. Their ideas are heretical, right? So that's what they did back in the day with religion. So it's just like, you can't listen to that. We just are going to ostracize them. It's the same shit.
Islam, Catholicism,
It's what extremism
Judaism.
is. Yeah, exactly. That's extremism, is where you're no longer engaging in the debate. And that's what liberal society is built upon, is the free debate. That's what
That's what
facilitates progress, right? Theoretically, right?
the
Is that if we are allowed to freely talk about shit, then we can make stuff better. Because then if something's bad, then somebody can be like, hey, that shit's bad. Let's not fucking do that. But anymore, you see the shit's getting really hard on people to not question it, not point out what's bad. Because,
No, you got to live in the shit now.
Because if you do,
You have to be a sheep.
you're a bad person. They removed any sort of intellectual side of the discussion.
They're just striking at your emotions. But in 1986, while the ATF was after Mr. Kumnick,
You gotta do something about that name, man.
at the World Aryan Congress, the ATF informant met Randy Weaver.
But half the people at that Congress were fucking informants.
Yeah, right.
Swear to God.
They sparked a little friendship because the ATF guy was just like, why not? Just meet everyone Frank's associated with. And a couple years later, Randy had met with him multiple times, had him over to his house a couple times. And at one point, they were discussing bringing down the Zionist organized government, which the ATF informant took as talking about the U.S. government.
But he was actually talking about the Israeli government.
Yeah.
This is the shit I be talking about. For some reason, the same base sect like split off into all these quote unquote religions. But it's literally the order of we worship the snake. And somehow there's this back and forth like hate on these guys because their religion is not true. Hate on these guys because their religion is not true. Muslims worship a meteorite.
Yeah, right.
Christians worship a white guy who is not white. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like
Jews
was like-
Jews worship, quote unquote, and if I'm wrong, please, I excuse the offense, but I feel like Jews worship just like clicking tight, making sure they take care of themselves in their community.
Well, that's kind of part of Jewish culture. Is like there's this whole dignity to being a Jew. It's like, well, if you're gonna, it's like you have to get a good job. You have to support your family. There's a strong value system there. There's people actually out there trying to find answers and actual truth and uncover stuff. And the problem is like those people are fighting against the constant stream of fucking liars and manipulators and people that are out for their own gain and power. That's what it is. Is you have this fucking clash.
And the biggest clash was at this moment in time in 1989 into 1990 was between the ATF and the FBI, because the FBI was also undercover in the Aryan World Congress. They actually they ratted out the ATF informant to Randy Weaver to secure the FBI informant's cred.
Dude,
right.
Interagency fighting is always so funny to me. When they're just like, they're fucking throwing each other under the bus. There's like so many of them. It's just like, why do we need so many fucking agencies doing this shit?
I feel like because some of them are black funded and some are supposed to be more so on the front end.
Right. Yeah, some like the FBI. It's the FBI, right? The ATF is a little lower, right? They're a little lower on the rungs. Like if you work for the ATF, you're like, okay, But
who polices tobacco anymore?
if somebody's like, hey, FBI,
My dick.
yeah, right? Yeah, like you're fucking Tommy guns. You're uncovering truckloads of illicit cigarettes. Come on, that's not happening.
So the ATF man in charge was Herb Byerly.
This is 80s.
Well, actually, we're in 1990 now.
We're 90s now.
Yeah, he ordered a stand down on the ATF informant, but still claimed that Randy Weaver was a threat. He was a bank robber, and he had ill desires towards the government. So the case was still open on him. And in December of 1990, there was a grand jury that said, there's evidence that he is doing something wrong. So
What was the evidence?
Herb's testimony.
That's it. Just the informant's testimony.
Well, the ATF informant had caught him had seen Randy with sawed-off shotguns.
That's very illegal.
Yeah, you can't do that. But he just
that was the basis.
So he just said that though, but whether or not he actually did that,
He had the shotguns.
Okay.
For sure.
for sure.
But what Herb said was that he was a bank robber, that he was using those weapons to rob federal property.
Oh, okay. Which
In
that
court?
that was in dispute.
Yeah.
In court.
Yeah. Under a grand jury, yeah. He said that,
Wow.
which is false.
So yeah,
It's not true. But because of his testimony, they had evidence that he possessed but did not sell illegal weapons. Now, the ATF thought that he was a threat, so they concocted quite a hilarious way to approach him about his arrest. They pretended to be broken down motorists, and the Weaver family, being the good Christians that they are, stopped to help their neighbor, and he got arrested. And Vicky had to fucking drive off. And that was in January of 1991. The grand testimony was in December of 1990. The arrest happened early to mid-January of 1991. January 22nd, Randy Weaver left jail and contacted his parole officer, which he was instructed to do. Now, the parole officer did not have the information yet. Like, he hadn't received the court date or any of that nonsense. He just gave him a not random, but the predictable court date of being February 5th. Randy was assigned a lawyer.
I was literally going to ask, did this dude pay for his own lawyer?
No. Oh, hell no.
Public
That's
defender.
why he got fucked. This is literally free. Again, free lesson for all you listening.
Get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer and pay for it.
Yeah, pay for a lawyer.
Pay for a lawyer. It's worth it.
The court-appointed lawyer was Everett Hoffmeister. And day one, he tried to contact Randy. All right, we need to get together, talk about your case, blah, blah, blah. Never heard from him. A couple days later, the court date changed from February 5th to February 20th. Because government sucks.
Yeah, slow.
No one told Randy. The information Randy received was February 5th. His lawyer tried to contact him multiple times. in between
That
the
period,
7th and the 20th.
Even though he's in a fixed location. Yeah.
Absolutely. No one can get in contact with him. No one hears from him. The parole officer tries to contact him. Nothing. February 20th comes around. The judge is like, well, fucker's not here. So guess what? I'm putting out a warrant for his arrest. And since a judge did it, now we have the marshals involved.
Yep.
They're going to track you down. Dog, the bounty hunter. Now,
You got Tommy Lee Jones on your ass.
yeah, every outhouse, hen house, and other houses.
Dog house, bird house, hen house. Yeah.
Now, there was one local newspaper, the Kootenai Valley Times, who actually started asking questions like, did he not show up on the 20th because he had the wrong date?
Right? Some honest reporting like, hey, maybe this citizen that's being kind of pushed around by the government, even though he might have some unsavory views.
For years.
Yeah. He might have some unsavory views, but at the same time, this is the federal fucking government, like fucking with a citizen, right? So maybe we should ask some honest questions.
They did a little digging, and yeah, the information he got was February 5th, the wrong date. So what the U.S. Marshals agreed to was that, okay, we'll set a new court date. We'll let him know. We'll inform him. And if he doesn't show then, we will, arrest him.
And see, this is the power that the Fourth Estate has to affect the government. Like, ask these honest questions and you can benefit the little guy. But obviously this didn't matter. So
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Exactly.
How often does that happen?
Because the U.S. Attorney's Office wanted to win. So they said if he doesn't show up by the 14th, grand jury happens. 14th comes around, grand jury happens, indicted. Now, Randy Weaver is hearing all of this. He's just refusing to respond because he has it in his head that I'm going to go to court on this date. And he starts getting all this information from other parties, his lawyer, the government, saying, no, it's this date. No, it's actually this date now. And no, now it's this date. And he's just like, they're out to get me.
well, yeah, they're trying to fucking trick me. They're trying to trip me up so that no matter what I do, I'm wrong.
I'm just fucked anyway.
I mean, I could see how it comes off that way.
The U.S. Marshals make contact with him, and they start negotiating a surrender, a peaceful surrender. It just goes on a little long.
Implying that he was not non-compliant.
Right. He's just holed up on his property, and they're just trying to figure out how to enter his property to take him into custody. So they're sort of negotiating that because being a survivalist and an anti-government man, probably going to start aiming a gun at someone that comes onto your property.
Yeah, exactly, right? You just come onto somebody's property like that. Yeah. You want to announce your presence beforehand.
A little communication
not
helps.
an unreasonable thing to do.
A little communication helps.
Goes a long way.
Negotiations go on from March to October of 1991.
Good Lord.
Drug it out.
Well, so he was just fucking with him then at that point. He's just trying to drag it out.
And eventually, the assistant U.S. attorney, Ron Howen, however you pronounce his name, decided to stop negotiations. Like, this is getting kind of ridiculous. Yeah, we're just going to
kill him.
Use a different route. So the government starts, thinking about ways to go about this case now. The U.S. Marshals decide in March of 1992 to disguise themselves as real estate prospects and approach him, just talk about the land and, get a little look around at the property, what they're doing.
Let's try and deceive him. Like the deception has worked out so well so far. Well, I guess the honest negotiations weren't either, so fair enough, whatever.
They set up surveillance teams. They have cameras all around his property. And we're talking 20 acres, I think. Quite extensive amount of land. And what the marshals observed was that whenever the Weavers first made contact with a visitor, they always had guns out. And it wasn't until the person was identified that they'd be like, oh, hey, what's up? And, put the arms away. Like a reasonable fucking person, yeah. I don't know who you are, so I'm going to view you as a threat. Once I know who you are, you may still be a threat, but maybe not,
Yeah. Oh, well.
Maybe we're just trying to kick it.
Just depends on what the situation is.
Like, you don't have an invite.
Now, like David brought up before with the Fourth Estate, helping Weaver, in April of 1992, they didn't. They did him a disservice.
they dirtied him up.
because there were media reports of him shooting at a helicopter that was flying by for a movie shoot.
Shooting a movie near, it just so happened to be shooting a movie near fucking crazy dudes under investigation property. Okay.
Yeah, it was some CBS show. And so media reported it. Weaver denied it. Weaver had friends over. They denied it. The cameras that the marshals had set up, no evidence of that actually happening.
The cameras weren't working, man.
Yeah. It wasn't the Kootenai Times that did that. Those were the honest reporters.
This was CBS. This was national outlet.
Well, it was a CBS show, so possibly
CBS.
Broadcasting. Yeah.
Well, they always
News
pick up
broadcast,
their,
yeah.
they always pick up other people's shit. So it's like it was probably broadcast everywhere, but like CBS did the initial reporting on it.
When do they not?
But see, that's the difference between your local outlet, your local paper, versus your fucking national corporate bullshit.
So the supposed helicopter incident happened April 18th. And after that, the U.S. Marshals were like, well, he is now a threat to other people. So we have to act now. And the reporting of him firing on someone helped them set up their rules of engagement for when they sieged his complex.
And it was a siege.
Yeah. First off, on April 21st of 1992, 6 U.S. Marshals went in camouflaged, armed with M16s, just to do some scouting.
Let's go scout
Just
around.
checking it out.
Yeah, night vision goggles.
Get the lay of the land.
Wait, what year was this?
1992.
April.
Night vision goggles.
Yeah, it's the military, man. They had everything.
Well, they just have money to spend on that. So they're like,
Just throwing it out there, you know.
they probably look really cool in them too. So they were like, hey, let's look cool in this. Let's do this.
Exactly. That
half of
whole
it.
concept of like the technology you're seeing now, the military had 15 years ago. You're just seeing it now.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
you think
Velcro.
you think it's new.
As the 6 marshals were scouting, one of them was throwing rocks around, and it alerted the Weaver family dog, who ran out of the house to go investigate the sound. Samuel, the oldest child, 14 years old, his dog loves him to death, follows the dog out to see what's going on. Also a family friend named Kevin Harris, who was over for, just hanging out.
Kevin.
Probably, talking some Aryan shit or something.
I miss Kevin.
We need to talk about Kevin. So they follow the dog out. Couple minutes pass. Randy's like, well, let me go see what them boys are up to. So he leaves,
Oh, God.
leaving Vicky, their daughter, Sarah, Rachel, and a 10-month-old baby, Elijah, I think is how you pronounce her name. Couldn't tell you. They all stay at the cabin. Randy actually runs into the marshals, and according to them, they start shouting, "Stop.
We tried to tell them.
We're U.S. Marshals."
We identified ourselves as law
Please.
enforcement.
Please.
This absolves us of all liability.
We tried.
As the marshals are talking with Randy, the dog comes in flanking them. And who's following the dog? Sam and
14-year-old.
Kevin. Yeah, Sam and Kevin,
It's perfect.
who are both armed. Sam has a 223 Ruger Mini, which is semi-automatic. And then Harris has a M1917 Einfield,
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
single shot.
That's but still long range.
Yeah. Marshals see the dog, see Sam and Harris approach, and yelling occurs.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Commotion erupts.
One of the federal agents shoots the dog.
Fucking Christ. Yep, that's what they do.
Sam
First order of business, shoot your fucking dog.
shoots at them. You killed my fucking dog.
dog,
He goes John Wick on his ass.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are. If you had identified yourself, I would understand what's going on.
These
and
fucking
I
people
wouldn't shoot.
on your property
Like-
with fucking M16s in night vision. Like, what the hell? Like, that's not antagonistic at all.
So peaceful.
I'm sure they were in full fatigues too, right?
Yeah, camo.
Yeah, exactly.
Armed with automatic weapons, M16s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
whatnot. So
Fucking military. It's like coming in like a fucking invasion. Yeah. The anti-government dude is not going to take kindly to this. I'm sorry. This is antagonistic.
Sam shoots at the marshals. Kevin, Sam, Randy start to retreat. One of the marshals shoots Sam in the elbow. Kevin shoots at him, shoots back at them. One of the marshals shoots and kills Sam, 14-year-old boy, dead. Kevin kills him.
Kills the marshal that shot Sam.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kevin and Randy get back to
Retreat.
the cabin, and marshals fall back. with their dead. And then Randy and Vicky eventually go and get Sam's body. Yeah. And bring him back to the cabin. Now, after that happens, U.S. Marshals are like, fuck. And start calling in reinforcements from everywhere.
Call everybody. Yeah.
FBI, ATF.
Dude, you just killed the dude's fucking kid.
Yeah.
But
He killed his dog and
but
his
he's
kid.
in the wrong. What did he do?
He missed a court date.
So your kid has to die because America.
This is America. And so after that incident, rules of engagement now are, if you see an adult, you can shoot them. Or if they're brandishing a weapon, you can shoot them. Any adult male with a weapon that you propose is deadly.
Is a threat.
Yeah, is a threat. You can shoot.
As in for any citizen, period? Or
Within the
area.
the area,
Property.
the cabin. Okay. If compromised by any dog, you could take the dog out.
Dude, I fucking feds, man.
Any subject.
That's what that Chappelle show skit's about, where like he flips it where it's like the crack dealer gets treated like the Enron, the financial crimes, and then like the financial crimes dude gets treated like a crack dealer would. Sadistic motherfuckers use it as an excuse.
And any subjects other than Randy Weaver, Vicky Weaver, or Kevin Harris presenting a threat can be used with deadly force. So basically anyone who comes at you that you think is a threat, you could just take out.
Jesus.
Now, most of the agencies involved saw the rules of engagement and were like, well, this is kind of fucked up. This is against most regulation.
You're basically saying, let's just go murder.
Murder everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a couple FBI snipers, though, that were like, all right,
Go time.
Oh, hell yeah.
we hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
And so there was an FBI sniper who's 200 yards out, sees Randy and Kevin outside of the cabin. So he takes aim. He shoots Randy in the back with the bullet exiting through his armpit. And what Randy was doing outside was he was going to the shed where his dead son was so he could see his boy one last time and gets shot.
He gets fucking shot.
Sam and Kevin retreat to the cabin.
Sam and Kevin, or Randy and Kevin?
Randy and Kevin. Because Sam's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, Sam can't retreat.
No, he can't. Just in the arms of the Lord. That's where that is where he retreated to. Now, also outside was Randy's 16-year-old daughter, Sarah. So they rushed back to the cabin. The FBI sniper shoots at Kevin as he's entering, and it goes through his shoulder and hits Vicky on the other side of the door, who is holding the 10-month-old baby, Elishaba, who gets dropped to the ground because Vicky dies. Yeah. So what the government decides to do, all these agencies, they just start using bullhorns to start trying to negotiate. But that's not working. I'm sure.
I'm sure he's totally reasonable at this point.
Right.
Hey, if you've killed his son, his wife, how's the baby?
The baby's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
The baby
survived.
Baby is okay.
Yeah.
Just got dropped.
It just got dropped. Yeah.
Was this televised? Was this publicized?
No, this is varying reports from Randy Weaver and the government. So it's a little bit of both.
So you're mixing them right now?
Yeah.
Like the account? Okay.
Correct.
Because like the government's obviously going to make it.
Because in the court cases, it does start to differ.
Yeah.
Interesting. But we'll get there in a second.
Interesting.
So now you have, Sam and Vicky dead. Kevin is wounded. Randy's wounded.
They're
just the Sarah's and
the only one
two other girls.
They're okay.
Yeah, they're okay. Like I said, they tried to negotiate with him through bullhorns. Nothing happened until a man named Bo Gritz gets on the line and Randy starts negotiating with him. He's the only man he would talk to because in 1980 something. Hold on.
Good job, researcher. Just forgetting the dates.
No, in 1992, he ran for president.
Bo Gritz?
Yeah, under the Populist Party.
All right.
And his slogan was God, Guns, and Grits.
Bo Gritz.
And that sold Randy. That was the guy he was going to talk to.
Hell yeah.
And they started working things out. It's a little slow. It's too slow. for the government.
Of course it is. It's funny. It's like when the government's slow, they're like, hey, just wait. You'll get your tax return. But like when somebody else is too slow, the government's like, well, come on, let's get it moving, you know? Trying to bust that.
Plus fines.
Yeah. No wonder people are anti-government.
So ATF, FBI, U.S. Marshals gave him a deadline. Bogritz is like, oh, fuck me. Talked to him for a couple days, and then they surrendered. They took Kevin to a hospital. They took Randy into custody, took him to a hospital as well.
Gave him medical treatment.
Yeah, and took the girls away. The girls were released to relatives. They actually thought about charging Sarah, who never brandished a weapon or anything. She was just there. But they
thought about it.
They decided not to. Yeah.
The thought crossed their mind. Like, what if we charged the daughter? Like some guy in the corner, pitching that idea.
Randy is jailed and arraigned in federal court on September 1st. The trial doesn't begin until April of 1993.
Damn.
Government's slow.
Yeah, government.
But Bogritz did a good job.
Yeah.
Let's say that. He negotiated the surrender.
Randy's defense attorney, a man named Jerry Spence, a couple weeks after the trial began, he closed his case. No witnesses called because he was just going to cross-examine the witnesses that the government was going to put forth. The FBI sniper, anyone who had read the fucking rules of engagement, and how unorthodox it was. So Randy Weaver got off due to that.
Nice.
Okay.
But they did get him for, the weapons charge.
Of course.
So he had to serve some time, pay a fine. Outside of that, good to go.
Well, minus this shit.
Minus your
his wife and child died,
the trauma that your other children went through.
Yeah. A small price to pay for your freedom.
Harris also got off. The state of Idaho tried to charge him with the murder of the U.S. Marshal, but that case was denied because of double jeopardy. So he got out of that also.
The system works.
Fucking right.
Randy Weaver and his daughters sued the government for the wrongful deaths of his son and wife. They sued for $200 million. Government settled outside of court in
Undisclosed.
August of 1995. They paid Randy Weaver $100,000, $1 million to each of the girls.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
Rumors of government officials.
Not great, but it's something.
Hey.
Rumors of government officials saying, yeah, if that case would have went to court, fuck us. We would have had to pay it all.
Damn. So like Randy, they just took the settlement. They stole the money. They're like, all right, we'll just take that. Yeah. Fuck.
Isn't there a principle like when they first they get signed to the bar or however that works? Isn't that like a principle they have to follow where they have to tell you like whatever is best for you?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure that's something as part of being a lawyer, right? Like you know.
Kind of like similar to the Socratic oath
or Hippocratic oath.
Oh, Hippocratic.
Yeah.
Hippocratic oath for like a doctor.
Yeah, I mean, Hippocratic oath. But like I think that even the Hippocratic oath isn't even like that. It's not like the binding. It's just like a nice fluffy thing that doctors tell themselves because there's plenty of doctors that don't fucking do that abide by that.
Paying you.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, try and look for principled people. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? Like, they exist in every profession, unprincipled and principled. Just do your best as character judgment.
And Kevin found him a great lawyer to press his civil charges against the government. And in the year of our Lord, 2000, he was awarded $380,000 from the government.
$380,000.
Better than zero.
Yeah. There you go.
Manslaughter charges were thrown at the FBI sniper.
Ooh, but they shielded him, right?
Oh yeah, he got off.
Yeah, exactly. No,
and then one of the county
cops serving time. What are you talking about?
One of the county lawyers tried to get at him. That failed too. After this entire incident, the government is actually doing a little self-reflection, and we're like,
are they?
Maybe we could have. U.S. Marshals and the ATF could have communicated a little better together, like how the U.S. Marshals just witnessed him not being threatening towards anyone, and the ATF be like, "Oh, well, those weapons charges were kind of bullshit." We apologize, and But no, there was no communication. So 6 months after this, we have Waco happen, where the government sieges over 100 days or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was a big ordeal.
This was 11 days.
Branch Davidians, Waco, Texas, David Koresh.
Yeah, you all know about it.
We'll cover that probably in an episode someday.
In like 5 years.
So, but the whole thing with that one is just so weird is because, like, for the longest time, the prevailing theory was, like, you know, the government set the fucking building on fire because one way or another, because the tear gas that they were using shooting into the building with the tanks was actually flammable. But the government released some audio some years later that they claimed was from Waco of, like, you can hear them saying, pour the gas. And I'm like, but where's this recording from? How did you get it? Like, what? And
Right.
does
How
this
did it
necessarily
survive?
does this necessarily exonerate the government's actions in totality? You know,
Yeah, and a man who also used Ruby Ridge and Waco as a reason for his acts was Timothy McVeigh, the man behind the Oklahoma City bombing.
Oh, sweet.
blew up the federal
But,
building in Oklahoma City, killed like 450 fucking people.
Randy and Sarah wrote a book, which they published in 1998. There was a CBS movie adaptation with Laura Dern as Vicky, Kirsten Dunst as Sarah,
Oh, wow.
and Randy Quaid as Randy.
Wow. Now, that is oddly suiting when you think about it now.
This whole thing comes off sequential as fuck, by the way.
In 2012, Sarah became a born again Christian, and she forgave the federal officers who shot and killed her brother and mother.
That's kind of weird, but okay. I mean, I guess, you know, it's the good Christian thing to do. But I don't know if I would feel that way. I was probably, I don't know. It's one of those things, like, if you killed my fucking wife and kid, I probably would be bitter.
I'm like, what did they do to you? Nothing. Oh, you just like, no, I'm a sniper. I'm just, yeah.
We're just fucking trigger happy.
I was trying to kill someone else. I accidentally killed you.
We're just gonna pop off.
Sorry about your wife.
Here's $100,000.
Yeah.
Right? Like that equates.
Damn.
Yeah. U.S. government sucks.
Yep. Is the moral of the story.
Buy a gun, learn how to use the gun,
And then if they ever come
Very
for
well.
you.
and then shoot at
Strap
anyone
it.
who comes onto your property.
Yeah.
Because apparently they're not gonna give a fuck about what you're doing. You could literally be like, yo, hey, here's a stick.
I just want to be
I'm
left
picking
alone.
up a stick. Boom, and you get shot.
You could literally move to like the middle of fucking nowhere and try to mind your own goddamn
They
business.
get fucked.
Yeah. Oh, you trying to buy land?
Hey,
Mind your business?
I'm sure. Look,
Hell no.
I know Randy was involved. You know, kind of was at proximity with the
He
Aryan
just had
Nation
buddies.
and
He
shit.
had
But look,
friends.
when you're out in rural Idaho, how many fucking
who's there.
social options do you really got?
That's
you know
who's
what
there.
I mean?
What was the covenant, the sword, and the arm of the Lord? That's who you're dealing with.
Like, I mean, come on. It's just like, look, man, I just want to play cards. You know, like, I just want to chill.
I just like getting drunk with my boys.
Yeah, I just want to chill. And then they start going off on the race thing. You just fucking drown it out and play your fucking cards. You know, but like, it's hard to impugn the guy. You know, if he was like a really like truly like die-in-the-wool racist that had like committed racist acts and shit, then like it would be a lot hard. This would be a little harder to defend. But that's not what happened here.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So
It was just a man and his family trying to fucking live by themselves.
yeah, like that's what the point is. It's like you try and go do your own thing, and even then, people will still fuck with you. Motherfucking Terry,
Yeah.
starting shit.
Fuck that
This
Kinnison
was where this
motherfucker.
fucking shit came from. Was motherfucking Terry, man.
So I mean, so you got to think about it this way, man. Like stories like this, tip of the iceberg.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like think about the shit that didn't make the fucking news,
Exactly.
right? The raids that
of
just
the
ended
iceberg.
almost immediately, and just nobody talks about because they were successful. This one though, it's just like they happened to like shit went awry, so that's why it's notable. You know?
Like that's what
And they got taken to court. So,
yeah, it was public.
yeah.
You got public spanking.
shit. That's what makes me worry about what's going on right now, man. Like now, there's like all these like vaccine passport things. Like it's about to be a theme now. Nobody's really aware of the tiptoe.
Well, that's the thing.
I find it hilarious. Like I had like, you know what I'm saying, like my boss who like at the shop that I'm at. I mean, older dude, so he's more at risk for shit than I am. So he's coming to me talking about, yo, are you vaccinated? I'm like, No, I literally am active all the time.
I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I'm younger.
I don't worry about that. And he starts going off like, I don't understand why people are blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I mean, you should be taking care of yourself. Yeah, you should get vaccinated by all means. But, like, outside of that, keep that shit to yourself.
I don't need no
man.
nanobites.
That 5G.
Keep it to yourself. Like, I should be able to do what I want to do to my body.
Yeah, exactly.
Per my decision making.
It's my body, my choice.
Yeah. No, and I mean, like, I'm not like people want to be like, oh, though that's hypocritical because of abortion. And it's like, no, I believe in both, honestly. So I'm not a fucking hypocrite. I think honestly, people should choose whether or not they want the vaccine and choose whether or not they want to have a shot. I believe in both. Like, I'm consistent.
It's your body.
Just because motherfuckers aren't consistent doesn't mean not everybody is. So anyway, but I agree with you, man, entirely. And I've talked to a lot of people, like, honestly, that have voiced a similar thing, and they're almost afraid to say it in public, right? Like, they're afraid to open their mouth about it because it's just like, I don't want to become a pariah. Like, I don't want to become ostracized because I just simply think people should make a fucking honest decision for themselves rather than be coerced or shamed or bullied into doing something. Like, that's the whole thing. And that's all, like, fucking, when fucking, like, Nicki Minaj is saying this shit, like, come on, man. Like, this shit's obvious. Like, I'm sorry.
It's part of the actual human condition. We're all thinking it. She's one of the few that are saying it. And the thing is, just like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to consider all sides of the coin, all sides of the leaf. You know, we can't just be sticklers to one side of it. I'm sorry, but like, I just a couple of days learned that like the definition of what a vaccine is got changed.
Yeah.
So when we say what a vaccine is and when we define what a vaccine is, I would think universally it's kind of like, set in stone a little bit. How are you allowed to change it within a year simply to suit the needs of what you were trying to define? Let's just start changing what things are. No, a leaf is not a leaf anymore. A tree is not a tree anymore. A tree can be
2 + 2 = 5.
2. Yeah, 1 + 1 is 11. Let's just start changing everything. How the fuck do you change what a vaccine is?
Well, like, that's what we talked about, dude, earlier. It's like, that's the whole thing about the free debate. It's like, when you have when the realm of free debate is open, then there's certain common definitions, right, that we all go by. Like, it's like, if we're going to have a discussion, we need to agree on the premise. If we're going to have an actual debate, we need to have a premise. So it's like, we need to agree on what a fucking word means. And if we don't have that, that's where the extremism comes in. They try to redefine the conversation entirely so that debate is impossible. Because there's no agreed upon premise. You're just like arguing from like different mountaintops. There's no reconciliation there because you're talking from two wildly different perspectives.
And it's arbitrary. It's self-serving. I don't see how that makes sense, dude. A vaccine is what a vaccine is. You can't change it simply because you made something that you want everybody to take. And you just want everybody to understand that, no, this is what I'm giving you.
Well, yeah.
So we're going to call it that.
Like, well, like the mRNA stuff, like, yeah, that's like a different treatment. They're calling, like you're saying, they're calling the vaccine, but the traditional vaccine format that's not what they're using here. Like, usually it's a dead version of the virus. Sometimes they use like
it's a defeated version of the virus that your body understands.
You can just take the information and use that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your body understands how to defeat that because it sees the chink in the armor.
Sometimes they will use a live attenuated virus where it's like it is a live virus but is weakened. It's weakened enough to where your body, you're not going to get, you might have a reaction, but like your body's going to use the information. It's going to work the same way.
That's a vaccine. So, your body is learning.
And don't get me wrong, the mRNA, like apparently that technology is like fucking brilliant and it does all this wild stuff. And like I've seen it explained, but at the same time, like it's new technology. And people just, when you can't be honest about that and just be like, no, this is just as experimental. Like this has never been used in a wide.
So you're guinea pigging the whole world.
Basically. And that's the way they want it.
You're guinea pigging the whole world, but not owning up to it.
You're going to get fucking banned because of this conversation. But
yeah.
You're guinea pigging the whole world and not owning up to it.
There's value in asking questions. Like, and it's not like you don't have to be some fucking staunch, like fucking extremist or anything. It's like just asking questions and be like, look, is this within reason? Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Just reason.
There's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, we're like so wildly off topic now, but like, Yeah,
it's close to being on top.
yeah,
It's the government killing
we're-
people.
Yeah, we're
It
in the
boils down
same.
to that.
We're in the same realm. You know,
Yeah.
just
It boils down to that. It's
ask-
the government killing people. I mean,
Yeah.
Give us 5 murdered children.
slowly, quickly, however you want to, view it.
Yeah, let's get to the shill stuff now at the end of the episode where we just plug all of our stuff. Because you know what? A lot of people plug their stuff at the beginning, but we don't do that. We plug it at the end because we value
So
your
that you
time.
can stop listening now.
Yeah, so you stop listening, turn it off now. But we value your time. We appreciate you for listening, and that's why we do it at the end. But anyway, give us 5 stars on iTunes if you feel like it. If even if you don't feel like it, just lie to yourself and do it anyway, because that's how people live their lives these days. And we are also on YouTube. I used to do video version of the podcast. I ended that. So now you just get a still image of our logo on the screen, but it's still cool if you watch it there. So
we gotta
you know,
start
hey.
Can you start fitting with strippers? I'll bring strippers.
Well,
No, it's just going to be Rhaegar. Just Rhaegar's face nonstop.
I mean, Rhaegar could
licking his balls.
Rhaegar could twerk a little bit, but for real, strippers.
I mean, honestly, the strippers is not a bad idea. They could probably get us some viewers. Probably get some boys watching. You know,
right.
get the dogs watching. All right.
I meant male strippers, but sure.
okay.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Jason needs to get his career started.
Working on it, baby.
Anyway, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter. I'm always just posting shit on there. It's probably at email me. You can send me emails at HistoricHole@gmail.com if you want. But don't actually do that because I don't look at it. And yeah, I guess the statement of the week this week was, we actually had some peace for once with Facebook just being totally offline.
Wait, Facebook went offline?
Yeah. Life is full of holes. Enter wisely.
Bye. Look 'em on.